FliCarGuy. Haven't seen you for a minute, but today I'm in something a bit cool, so I was like, let me turn on the camera. Maybe I'll put the video up, maybe I won't, but we'll see what we can record. So I'm out here in Arizona, and as something to do, I decided to get an AMG, a 63S, so not a 43 like the last one I did a couple of years back. So yeah, I'm gonna have it for a couple of days. I'm right now just Googling, looking for some nice roads to drive out here in Arizona. There's a lot of mountains around here, so I'm gonna see if I can find a nice drive that will you know, be fun. So I'll give you a look around the car, let you know what I'm in, and yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully this will be a fun video. So we'll start from inside. This is a 2019 C63S. Right now I'm in sport, so they have like all these different modes and stuff you can scroll through. But I'm sure if you want to see like how the modes work and stuff, you could always search that up, but I might show a bit of it. Carbon fiber everywhere. Burmeister sound system sounds amazing. We got the classic red seats. The back seats are usable for kids maybe. Adults would be very uncomfortable back there. But yeah, this is a 2019, so it has like your newer things here. I'll turn on the car in a minute. Alcantara here. So yeah, it's just as always, Benz has some of the nicest interiors. You can see the brushed pedals down there and whatnot. Apple CarPlay when you plug it in. Let me go outside the car and give you a walk around. Heads up display. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. So here we are with a 2019 C63S Coupe. So real AMG, not baby AMG. It's that V8 bi-turbo, twin spoke wheels. These are the steel rotors. White exterior, red and black interior. I've been driving the car around for about half an hour so far. It's been an adjustment. It's pretty stiff. The tires definitely can't keep up with the torque and the horsepower. So I had to basically put the car, turn off the traction control, not fully, but just take it one step off, because anytime you try to step on the gas, the traction control would kick in because there's no traction for the power. So yeah, it's been fun. It's loud. The exhausts are mean in Sport Plus. A lot of burbles and backfires and stuff. And yeah, it's really stiff. It's actually a lot more stiff than I thought it might be. But it's been fun so far. I'm gonna have it for a couple of days, so as I drive it and get more accustomed to it, I didn't want to jump in it and just go crazy right away and have any problems. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna give you some in-car driving footage. Now bear in mind, I didn't really plan to do any videos while I was away on this trip, so I didn't bring my actual camera. I'm shooting on my iPhone, and I don't have my gimbal for my camera either, so I'll just do my best with the iPhone and see what kind of footage we get. So yeah, if you open up, also this has like the carbon fiber, so it looks like this one is pretty well spec'd because it has the Burmeister sound system. Like I was saying earlier, it sounds really good. Got the AMG seats, and as you can see back here, I don't know if you can see that, but there's not that much room, so kids could fit back here, a baby seat maybe, but adults would be real uncomfortable. But it's still nice. What I really like is I like this steering wheel. Let me hop back in here. Ugh. I like this steering wheel a lot. It's like it's not super thick, but it has like the sides are straight, and it has all this new stuff on it. Matter of fact, let me start it up, see if you can hear it. Let me try to start it up in sport mode to see if you can hear it. Nice growl to it. in here, because it's the newer AMGs, you can see here it has all these buttons here that you can program. So this is for the suspension. You can switch it to what suspension you want. So obviously Comfort, Sport Plus is the most stiff, and the car is very stiff. Actually, it's almost a bit jarring. Like you could hear stuff rattling in here. This is your drive, so you can do a manual or just regular drive, so it'll switch for you. And you have another one here that you can toggle. Car got real quiet to sport, comfort to soften up everything, or individual, you can set it to how you want it, winter modes. So I'm gonna be burning gas in Sport Plus because I got it to have fun in it. So yeah, as you can see, carbon fiber everything. CarPlay works when you plug it in. Wireless charging pad. I won't do too much of a review per se of the car because, like I said, it's a 2019, so you could always go and see a ton of reviews of everything. But I've always liked Mercedes interiors. Everything is like nice touch to it, and all of the lighting is under the seat and whatever. There's a big roof right now. I have it there to block the sun. Let's see how we open this, because and see down here you have all the different switches for your volume, exhaust button to quiet down the car if you want. Why would you want to do that? Traction control off, which I was saying I had to turn the traction off for some sport handling, otherwise you can't step on the gas. The gauges are nice. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. So it does have a sunscreen. And this roof doesn't go back. Oh, never mind. This roof does go back if you want, or you can just have it forward. I'll leave that for now. But yeah, let's see what we get. I'll drive to where I'm gonna go, and then I'll turn the camera back on. As you can see, I'm literally in the middle of this Arizona road, about to try to go to the mountains. So yeah, about to try to drive up to the mountains. I looked up a spot, I forget what it's called, I'll tell you afterwards, but I've never been to Arizona before, so it's been fun just driving around exploring. Like I said, in Sport Plus, it's pretty rough. Like it's very stiff, which I don't mind because I like sports cars. Matter of fact, while it's a bit bumpy, let me see what happens if I switch into comfort. Switched it into comfort now, and it definitely softened up and got a bit more quiet. Well, a lot more quiet actually. But again, with the low profile tires and all that stuff, it's not gonna be like a S-Class type ride or anything like that. So it's always gonna have a stiffness to it, but in comfort mode, it definitely feels more daily drivable, more regular. So yeah, we'll see. But in this car, yeah, so let's see the takeoff. Still spinning tires in comfort mode, so it's not like it's a slouch in comfort mode either. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know if I'll get, well, in the C-Class, I think the coupe looks the best. I'm not a huge fan of the four-door just because it's smaller. I like my four-door cars big, so I figure if you're gonna get a car that's smaller, it might as well be a coupe, so it's real sporty and tight. But yeah, it's a cool little drive so far. Let me go back into Sport Plus, and yeah, the whole dash switches up and everything. But yeah, when I get onto some of the other roads, I'll come back. But just my overall impressions, like watch from a standstill. I don't know if you can hear this. Let me turn on the window. From a standstill, if I hammer this car, That was a quick 65 miles an hour from a standstill, tires spinning and everything. So it's pretty nasty. Look at this, they have cotton fields over here. Wow. So seatbelt tightened up on me. Let me do it again and turn the camera around so you can see how quickly it builds up boost. This is from a standstill, no launch control or anything, just hitting it. Car's still spinning and spinning. So yeah, I don't know if you could tell how the gears are just going and going and the car is just spinning. And this is on some Michelin. I think these are Pilot Sport S's, but I'll double check to see. But it's a thrill to drive. So I can't imagine these cars when they're tuned and everything, because to my knowledge this is a stock vehicle, but stock, these are, I'll have to double check, but I believe these are 557 in this year stock. A lot of horsepower. So all these cars that are 600, 700, 1,000 horsepower, if you've never driven any high horsepower cars before, don't be fooled. 500 horsepower is plenty, especially depending on how heavy the car is. But it's just a completely different level of performance and drive, especially in these European cars, these AMGs and these M cars, where you have the suspension and all the technology and, you know, the drivetrain. This is a 9-speed, shifts like crazy. So it's just an interesting dynamic compared to your regular everyday cars that are just made for comfort and gas mileage. Let me pull out here real quick. Car is a rocket ship. I won't tell you how fast I was just going, but I need this in my life. I need this in my life. For any lens flare from the sun, but as you can see, that's mountains out there. I'm like Arizona desert for real. Finding these little backcountry roads to drive on and have some fun. So we got 8 speeds. I don't even know what the speed limit is out here, but it is definitely a nice drive. See, right now I'm cruising along at this speed, and if I floor it at this speed rolling, instant throwback. Car is ridiculous fast. Ridiculous fast. For what it is, like it's not a Lamborghini or anything like that, but for a little luxury coupe, it is plenty fast. I've never really been a big fan of like the turbo cars and stuff. Not that I'm not a fan, it's like, you know, the lag and all that, but you really don't feel too much of a lag. There is a lag. Like there is a lag where like you step on it and you can feel it, but when the boost kicks in, it just throws you back in the seat. It's so exhilarating. I could definitely get used to this, that's for sure. I don't know if you guys can hear in the cabin some of the rattling I was talking about. So I don't know if it's because this car, you know, has been pretty well used. I didn't even check the miles on this car, or whatever the case may be, and stuff just comes loose over time. But I could see it with the way that the suspension is so stiff. I could see over time, going over a lot of bumps and rough road, how it would start to shake stuff loose. So that might be the only thing right now I'm not liking about the car, is that I can hear a lot of rattling like under the dashboard and stuff like that. But again, that might just be this car. I haven't been in another one to say if that's the case. I can hear like little vibrating and stuff from the speaker. Again, I don't know if that's just looseness or something happened to the audio system or whatever, but yeah, as far as the driving of the car though, I have no complaints so far. We'll see as time goes on. I don't know if you guys can hear all of that, all of the rattling and stuff shaking or whatever. Just cruising on the 87. This looks like a movie. Out in the desert, in the mountains. Nice little stretch of road. We're getting into some of the windy stuff and the hill changes and elevation changes. It's pretty stiff in the corners so far. Starting to get into some of the curves and elevation changes and stuff. I have the suspension in Sport Plus and transmission in Sport, because when you leave the transmission in Sport Plus, it doesn't go all the way up to 9th gear. It only goes up to 8th gear for better acceleration. The car is pretty stiff, so in these little turns and stuff, it's been pretty solid. Not a whole bunch of rolling or whatever. Steering wheel's real stiff with the suspension in this mode. So far feels real nice for a little luxury sport type car. So that was an hour drive. I turned around, I'm headed back into the city. I'm pretty impressed. I was definitely going through the corners at a good rate of speed. I'm impressed with how well it handled the corners and the direction changes. The car never really got too unsettled. And again, I'm pretty sure if you get some even better tires, it would be even better. Never underestimate the difference that a quality tire can make when it comes to handling and braking and cornering and stuff like that. So, but no, I'm enjoying the car. So AMG is definitely on the list, but maybe like an AMG GT that even has more performance. But this is a good introduction to the AMG world. I've never had the chance to really drive one extensively and kind of be able to live with it for a day or two. So this is definitely a good time. So you guys can see some of the road I'm driving. Look at that, all into the mountains. A lot of direction changes. You can see the car bouncing around a bit. Suspension is very tight, but I am traveling at a decent rate of speed through these corners, so it's not doing a bad job. I think when I looked up this place, it said it was a 3,000 foot climb. So definitely feel the air's popping on the way down and on the way up. But as you can see, some nice like S-bends and sweeping curves and stuff like that. It's a nice drive. Only saw one state trooper going the opposite way when I was coming, so now I'm not at that. See, I'm down in 9th gear right now, just kind of cruising. Definitely recommend when you go to new towns or new places, look up to see what kind of, I just basically Googled best roads to drive in Phoenix, and it brought me to a list of some different places. Some places were far out, some places weren't so far out, and it gives you a bit of the description. But yeah, when you go places, even if it's for a day or two, rent a nice car. I was gonna rent a 2022 M3 competition. That would have probably been even nicer. Through the M cars usually have better handling than the AMG cars. But I don't know, I just like AMG, so I was like, let me do AMG this time. Whenever I come back, maybe I'll get the M3 next time or something else. But yeah, anytime you're in a different town or whatever, even if it's for a day or two, hop on Turo, rent a nice car It'll add to the experience of your trip, especially if you're a car person like me. This is super fun right now to be driving through the mountains in a car with 500 plus horsepower, so definitely recommend. Nice winding part here. Let's see if I can show you through here. Drive down here through the mountains. As you can see by the road signs, we have some good twists and turns. I'm not going to record too much because the steering wheel is pretty stiff, and I like to have two hands on the wheel when I'm driving like this. So just wanted to give you guys some more views of what the drive is like. Here's something we can talk about. Everybody loves to talk about gas. Not me so much because I'm into performance cars, but it's worth noting that so far I've driven this car 159 miles and I'm below half a tank. So in kilometers, I can do the math on the video after and I edit, but yeah, half a tank, 160 miles or so. And mind you, I've been in Sport or Sport Plus the entire time, so I'm sure if you put it in comfort mode and cruise and go easy on the shifting and all that stuff, you'll get a better result. But that's been my experience so far. So far it says that I'm at an average of 17.8 miles per gallon. So when I first started driving the car, it was a much lower. It was like 12 or 14 or something. So I guess because I've been cruising in 9th gear on this stretch, it's been decent. But yeah, I mean, to me, when you're driving high horsepower cars, who cares about gas mileage, really? It's all about the fun. Even though, mind you, a lot of the new high performance stuff is moving towards hybrid anyways. So you're getting a lot of these twin turbocharged V6 with battery assistance for acceleration and stuff like that, which I guess is cool. But to me, I like the sound and everything, like V8, V10, V12, like nothing beats that. This car sounds so good. I wish I had a mic I could strap to the back of it. Or maybe you can even hear it inside, because inside I can hear it, but I don't know if the phone will pick it up. But the sound is part of the fun. So yeah, another thing I noticed a couple of times at very low speed, like if you're kind of rolling and then go to make a right turn, the transmission is kind of jerky when it's in Sport Plus. So again, I don't know if that's just this car, but I've noticed that a couple of times already now. So a bit of jerkiness, but again, it's not too uncommon in a lot of high performance cars that like their first gear is kind of jerky, especially if you're kind of going lightly on the throttle. A lot of these cars are made to, you know, be pushed. So when you're not under full acceleration or you're not driving the car hard, then sometimes it's just not meant for that. So you notice like little weird stuff that happens. So I'm just gonna chalk it up for that and just see if it's, again, it might just be this particular car. So as I drive, I'll see if it's something that I notice over the couple of days, or if it just happened to be like that a couple of times. So I just confirmed it is some Pilot Sport 4S's, so pretty decent tires, but I don't know, the tread might not be that great. In general, these tires don't have a lot of tread, but they're still pretty grippy. All right, I was so carried away, I forgot to wrap up my video on this one. But anyways, I'm at the end of my time with the AMG. I'm gonna go bring it back in about an hour or so. So I had it for 2 days, drove approximately 400 miles. When it got down to quarter, I filled it back up, and then now it's back down to half, so I'll fill it back up before I bring it back. But overall, I really fell in love with the car. The things I didn't like about the car, the seats are pretty firm. They're just very flat on the bottom, not too much cushioning, but it's supposed to be a sportier AMG car, so I get it. So that was one thing. Sitting in the car for a long time didn't feel that great. And then the other thing I noticed was the suspension is very stiff. So if for some reason you don't like stiff cars where you can feel everything in the road, like, don't get no full out AMG car, because you will not be happy with how stiff the ride is. On comfort, it's not too bad. So as my time went on with the car, what I started to do was I started to put the suspension setup into comfort, and then I'd put the exhaust, of course, on powerful, and then I would put the transmission on sport, and then the engine on dynamic. So that's kind of the balance that I was driving around with, depending on the terrain. When I was up driving through those mountains, of course, I had everything full sport plus suspension, everything as tight as possible, just for maximum performance or whatever. But that was another gripe. What else did I not like about this car? There was like some rattles and stuff. Again, the suspension is very stiff, so anything that's loose on the interior, you're gonna hear it. So like, you could hear a little rattling in the dashboard, and like just little like rear quarter panels kind of rattling around when you're driving over some of the rougher stuff. So that I didn't enjoy that much. But for me, like, that's stuff that annoying, but knowing me, what I'd do is I would go track down the panels and then either see if they just needed to be tightened, or if there was a way to put some kind of deadener on it. So yeah, for anybody that hasn't ever driven one or was considering one, definitely in your area, see if you can hop on a Turo and see if anybody has an AMG to take up for a dare, so just to get a feel for it. And again, this was just the 63. I want to say just, meaning there's a 63S that's a bit more crazier, more horsepower, race mode, which this car doesn't have, and a couple of other things. So that would have probably been even more fun, and hopefully I can get my hands on something like that at some point and try it out. I was never a big fan of the coupe per se, because I've always liked four-door cars, but in the C-Class, I think you got to get the coupe, because the C-Class sedan is kind of like, it looks more like the regular C-Classes. Like, I find the C-Class coupe C63 has a way meaner look than the regular C300. So it's like you can tell right away that it's like a different animal of C-Class just by looking at it. So if you're gonna do it, I'd definitely vote for the coupe. Let me see, what else? Gas mileage, whatever. I'm used to big V8s. I have the 6.1 liter V8 in my SRT Magnum. I had the 4.7 liter V8 in the Maserati, naturally aspirated as well. So I'm used to the bigger displacement kind of, gas guzzling cars that sound good and are real fun to drive. So for me, it's worth it. What else impressed me? Let me talk about what impressed me. So I already talked about the speed, the handling, the Burmeister sound system. If you're ever getting one of these AMG cars and you like playing music, you have to get it with the Burmeister. Like, it's not even close. I've been in one where it had like the regular, I don't know what the regular system is called, but the upgraded Burmeister system is like nice bass. The mids and highs were very clear, and it just had a nice rich sound. So I wouldn't even consider one of these AMG cars without the upgraded Burmeister sound system. What else? This is a 2019, so let me flip the camera and show you something. So for those that don't know, the 2019 in the C-Class Coupe give you the new steering wheel. So you'll notice it has like these toggles that you can set here. This is for manual modes. This one's set for the suspension modes you can change. And this is your little dial to switch through comfort and sport, or you can press it in and it'll give you individual, which is where you can set each element on your own. So to me, this steering wheel alone is worth the newer AMG cars because it's a lot nicer than the old steering wheel. And another thing you'll notice is a full digital dash. So you can toggle what you want to show on this side, and then you can go to the other side, toggle what you want to show there. You can go through and choose different, like say I wanted my media to be the center, I could change it so that the media stuff would show up on the left side. Or if I wanted to go and change like how it looks, like this is the super sport screen that I was driving with in most of the time. This is the sports screen. So you notice the sport gives you a bit of a different layout, but then you're still able to switch over and decide what you want there. So whether fuel mileage stuff, your digital tack, G-forces with the tack, boost and horsepower and all that kind of stuff. So all of this stuff you can play with. So on the 2019s and up, you have this digital dash, which is cool. Over here, you had everything can be controlled by this side. So see, as I go on this side, it controls this side. So basically this side controls the screen, and then this side controls your dash. Get the carbon fiber option if you can, obviously. Ambient lighting, just had Apple CarPlay, wired CarPlay though. In this one, it was wired CarPlay in 2019. So I don't know if they upgraded in 2020 or 2021. This also had the wireless charging mat, which was cool. And yeah, I won't go into too much of the functions of the screen and stuff. You can always find that stuff online, but I just liked how everything worked together. I liked how customizable it was. Flat bottom steering wheel, all leather. Some of them have the Alcantara, and you'll notice in these cars that have miles on them, the Alcantara looks horrible because it gets worn down very easily. So if you have a chance, I think the perforated leather and the leather is better for just the durability of it. As you can notice, like this isn't even red anymore, so this car's been driven pretty well. But yeah, that was really the lasting impressions. Over here, this car didn't have, there's a bunch of empty spots, so there's all these different options you get for safety things. Like this one, he has this, like brings the seatbelt out to you, and this is the Distronic stuff, like the warnings for everything in front of you. So it didn't have the, sorry, not Distronic, this is just a warning for stuff ahead of you. So you don't have the option for the Distronic Cruise, which is like the cruise control that will follow cars through and all that stuff. So there's some options missing there. If you're gonna get a car like this, I say get it with all the options, because for one, it will allow you to resell the car at a higher value because it has a better spec. And I mean, you're already gonna be spending, I think these cars right now are selling for like 100,000 plus Canadian. So over here in the US, probably like 70, 80 or something like that. So you're already spending that much money. You might as well get it with all the options. This had the red seats with the white exterior, which was nice. Ambient light you can change. Has the IWC clock. So this is all nice. It was a real fun car to have. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, guys, I know the lighting is kind of crazy. I'm getting washed from the LEDs, but yeah, it was fun. I definitely think the car is worth the money. It's fast, it's rear wheel drive. So on the coupes, that's another thing to notice. In these years, the coupes are rear wheel drive only, so no 4MATIC like some of the 4-doors have, depending on the years. So it's fun. It's definitely tail happy. Another thing I was doing, I was driving with the traction control on sport mode, so it reduces a bit of the intrusion from the traction control. So it will slide around in the back end, especially with all the torque and when the boost comes on. So it's definitely a fun car to drive. I definitely recommend it if you get a chance. And yeah, that's about it for this video. It's been a while, but I figured I had an opportunity, spent the money to have the car, might as well make a video while I'm exploring and, you know, enjoying in the car or whatever. So hopefully you guys liked the video, and if there's any other questions about it, anything I forgot that I have an opinion on, I'll definitely respond in the comments like I always do. FliCarGuy, that is, out.